Hi, I'm Melanie, and this is Unfashioned, a podcast about unraveling what no longer fits and re-wearing what was always real. This morning, I opened my closet and felt the changes of the winter season immediately. The heavier pieces had moved closer, the softer layers were within reach, and things had shifted without being deliberately rearranged. Closets do that. They change quietly as life changes, responding to the seasons of our lives without needing instruction or explanation. In winter, unraveling happens differently. It is not just about pulling threads or forcing change. It slows down, it softens, and it happens under layers. Fibers relax, seams soften, and garments begin to mold to the body instead of resisting it. It is about what happens when the days grow shorter and the nights grow longer, and when you are no longer dressing to be seen, but to be held and protected. That is what this season of unraveling feels like to me. Our closet stops performing and starts protecting us. It's not dramatic or urgent, but honest and patient. Unraveling in winter means letting things loosen without forcing them, allowing yourself to be held instead of being held together, and letting questions and ideas form quietly in the dark where hope and possibility often begin. Nothing is being lost here. Something is being prepared. Winter unraveling trusts that what comes apart now will make sense when the light returns, and that the layers you are wearing today are not the ones you will need forever, but they are the right ones for this season. Welcome to Season 2 of Unfashioned. Unraveling is not something that happens once in a lifetime. It returns quietly and naturally as seasons of life change. Just as the closet shifts with the weather, the inner work shifts with time, age, and experience. What you reach for now is different than what you reached for before, not because you are wrong then, but because you are standing in a new season. Winter carries its own kind of wisdom. It teaches you to layer, not to hide, but to protect what matters. Each layer holds something earned, like experience, discernment, or patience. You do not strip these layers away. You wear them with the intention of letting them do their work while you move slowly through your days. As you move more slowly through the winter, concerns about relationships, work, or life in general may become apparent. Of course, you'll want to consider these concerns and make changes to your closet as you feel necessary. But unraveling in the winter does not always ask for answers or change. It loosens what no longer needs to be held so tightly and allows space for ideas to form quietly without pressure. This is where hope begins to gather and where the future is imagined softly before it is ready to be worn. Every season brings its own unraveling. The winter season is slower, deeper, and more internal. It works beneath the surface, under the layers of comfort and care, preparing you for what will come next. Nothing is being rushed, nothing is being lost. This is simply the season you are in, and winter knows exactly what it is doing. Winter also invites hibernation, not as withdrawal, but as preservation. It is a time to stay close to what is familiar, to conserve your energy, and to choose warmth over visibility. In your closet, it means wearing the same trusted pieces again and again. In life, it means allowing yourself to rest inside what already fits instead of searching so hard for something new just to prove you are changing. Hibernation happens away from the noise, the performance, and the need to be seen. It is a season of pulling inward and choosing rest over movement. It allows your life to exist quietly beneath the surface. In winter hibernation, the dark is not something to fear. It is where comfort lives. It is where you wrap yourself in soft clothing, heavier fabrics, and familiar layers that know your body well, because the clothes you wear now are not about how you look to the outside world. They are about how you feel inside your own skin. Warmth matters. Ease matters. Protection matters. Hibernating in the winter means wearing what holds you. The sweaters that feel like safety. The coats that block out the cold. The clothes that allow you to gently exhale the moment you put them on. These are not garments meant to impress. They are garments meant to support you while you rest. In this darkness, wrapped in comfort, the ideas will begin to form, not loudly and not all at once. They arrive slowly as sensations first, a sense of what you want more of, a quiet longing for how you want your life to feel when you step back into the light. Do not rush these ideas. You let them stay warm and protected, the same way you protect yourself in the winter. Hibernation is not just a time waiting, it is a time preparing. The darkness is not empty. It is full of possibilities, held together by the layers of care and patience. And when the season shifts, what has been quietly growing will be ready to emerge, dressed in something new, but grounded in the comfort that carried you through. Growth does not stop in the winter. It simply moves underground. Beneath the cold and the quiet, seeds of your future are being planted and protected, waiting for the moment when the light begins to change. Nothing about this kind of growth is loud or immediate, but it is real all the same. Clothes become more than fabric in the season, they become shelter. They hold the heat close to your body, creating small pockets of warmth where life can continue its work. Inside that warmth, ideas take root. Intentions settle in. Futures begin to form. Seeds are planted in the dark, but they are nourished by comfort, by safety, and by allowing yourself to stay soft instead of bracing against the cold. The clothes you choose from your closet are now part of that care. They allow you to rest, to breathe, and to trust that you do not need to rush towards the next version of yourself. You may not see what is growing yet. That is the part of this season. Winter asks you to believe in what you cannot see, to trust that something is happening even when everything appears still. The darkness is not an ending. It is a necessary beginning. When the time comes to step back into the light, what has been quietly taking shape will be ready, not fragile but rooted, not rushed but grounded. The warmth you created for yourself in the winter will be what carries that growth forward. In winter, unraveling is not about taking things away. It is about loosening what has been held too tightly. Warmth needs space. Layers only work when they can settle, when nothing is pulling or constricting. A sweater that is too tight does not insulate, and neither does a life that leaves no room to breathe. You feel this when you get dressed in the cold weather. You choose layers that can move with you. You loosen scarves. You choose a larger size. You allow space between the body and the fabric so heat can stay close. Protection in winter is never rigid. It is soft, adjustable, and responsive. This is what unraveling looks like in this season. It is releasing pressure, letting go of urgency, allowing old expectations to loosen so something warmer can take their place. Unraveling becomes an act of care, not a breakdown, but a gentle widening. Your closet will reflect this shift. You will stop forcing yourself into pieces that restrict you. You will reach for what allows ease, what holds warmth without asking you to perform, and what makes it possible to move through the cold without bracing against it. When you unravel in this way, you are not losing structure. You are creating room for warmth, room for comfort, room for wisdom to layer itself naturally over time. This is not undoing your life. It is learning how to live inside more gently, especially in the cold. As you listen, imagine standing in your own closet for a moment. Notice what has moved closer this season. The heavier pieces, the softer layers, the clothes you reach for when you want to stay warm and protected. Your closet already knows the season you are in, even if you have not named it yet. Winter is not a time to clear everything out or decide what comes next. It is a time to let things rest, to allow what matters to stay close, and what belongs to another season to wait patiently in the dark. Unraveling in winter does not mean undoing your life. It means loosening what has been held too tightly so warmth can circulate. It means choosing layers that create safety and ease, not pressure or performance. So, as you stand there, ask yourself gently, what ideas are you keeping in the closet right now? What hopes, intentions, or ways of living are you tucking away, keeping warm and protected, trusting that they will be ready when the light changes? You do not need to wear them yet. You only need to keep them safe. The ideas you allow to rest now, folded carefully in the dark, are the ones that will know how to grow when the spring arrives. As we step into the new season of Unfashioned, we are also stepping into a new year. Winter reminds us that beginnings do not always arrive with clarity or momentum. Sometimes they arrive quietly, wrapped in layers, asking us to move gently and trust what is still forming. This season of my podcast will unfold the same way, more slowly and more intentionally, with time to live inside the unraveling rather than rushing through it. This first episode sets the tone for the season ahead. Instead of rushing towards answers, we begin slowing down and looking more closely at what we are already wearing. Over the coming weeks, this season will move through a garment the way winter asks us to move through life, patiently and with care. We'll start with labels, the single words that try to contain an entire person. From there, we'll continue inward, layer by layer, examining the fabric, the care, the silhouette, the seams, and the threads that actually hold our lives together. New episodes of Unfashioned will be released bi-weekly, giving each story time to settle in and giving you time to live alongside it. As the new year begins, I hope you allow yourself warmth, protection, and patience. I hope you give your ideas somewhere safe to rest. And I hope you trust that what you are planting now in the dark of winter will grow when the light returns. I'm Melanie, and this is Unfashioned. Until next time, stay warm, stay gentle, trust what is forming beneath the surface.